Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how to build a Chrome extension. I'm going to show you the process from start to finish for a really simple Chrome extension just to kind of get your feet in the water, and I'm going to explain everything along the way just to make it as clear as possible so no one gets lost. And once you start making a few Chrome extensions, as this is kind of going to be your step into the Chrome extension building world, once you've made a few, eventually you're going to want to monetize them. So let me just quickly mention BrowserBill, our site, which basically allows you to monetize your browser extensions really easily. You can do one-time payments, subscription payments, everything goes through Stripe, and it basically just simplifies everything for all of your browser extensions. So once you get to that point, after you've used this video to make a few browser extensions and you want to monetize them, make sure to use BrowserBill. I'm going to leave the link in the description. But let's get into actually making the Chrome extension. So first of all, the main thing that every single Chrome extension will need is a manifest. So let's create a file called manifest.json. And also, I know I didn't mention, but you should just have a random folder. It just needs to be an empty folder that's going to hold all of your code. We're only creating 3 files, but just create a random folder somewhere and open it up in your preferred text editor. I'm using Visual Studio Code. So in our manifest, this just essentially provides metadata about the Chrome extension just to give the browser a bit of information about what the extension is. And this is JSON, so let's start it with some curly brackets, and we'll open those up. And so a required field that we need is manifest underscore version rather. So create manifest underscore version, and we're going to set it to 3. 3 is the newer one. You might see 2 somewhere. A lot of the older extensions are going to be 2, but let's use 3 for the minute. And then we need name. So this is the name of the extension, so just whatever it's called. So I'm going to call it, because we're going to be making one that shows the date, so I'm just going to be calling it date extension. And then version. So this is the actual version of the Chrome extension, so I'm going to put 1.0.0. And then finally we need action. So action is basically, and actually while we're here, let's do default underscore popup and set this to popup.html, which is a HTML file that we'll create in a bit. So what this thing here means is that we have an action, and for the action is that the default pop-up is going to be popup.html, meaning when they click the Chrome extensions icon in the toolbar, we want Chrome to show popup.html, which is going to be our interface. So this is just saying, open up this when we click the icon. Really simple and really common. So that's all the stuff we need in the manifest. So that's all the metadata done. Now it's time to create the actual pop-up. So popup.html. And we're going to be using pretty bare bones HTML because I don't want to have to go into kind of the whole, go into everything with HTML. I'm assuming if you're watching this video, you likely have a bit of knowledge. If you don't, then maybe, we don't really need that much HTML knowledge in here, so you should be fine just to kind of copy and paste what we're doing. But we'll open up with the default HTML tags, and we'll have a head. You can add details in here if you want. We don't need any for the minute, but you will if you want to, add custom CSS style sheets. And then we'll have a body. And so in our body, we will add a header. So we'll do h1. And so because this extension is going to be showing the current date when it opens up, we'll do current date. And then we want to have a dynamic kind of piece of text here that is filled with the current date. So we'll have a span with the ID current / dash date. And then we will leave this empty. And so that's our header tag. In order just for some styling, because you're going to see it at some point, let's set the the styling of the body here to padding 20 pixels, and we're going to align this text to the center, and then we're going to set the width to 400 pixels. So padding is just going to add a little bit of padding around this header. Text align center is just going to center this text so it's in the center of the pop-up, And then width 400 is going to set the width of the pop-up. And this is pretty important just to make sure that text isn't squished. But none of that is super relevant. It's just some basic CSS styling. And then so now let's create the logic that fills in the current date span with the current date. So we'll create a file called popup.js. And in here, we will need to select the current date span. So we'll do document.get element by ID, current dash date rather. So this just selects that span element. Then we'll set inner HTML. So this is going to set the whatever text is inside of it. And we're going to set it to new date. So this is a date constructor. So we're going to create a new instance of the date. And we're going to get the toUTC string. Okay. So that's all we need in our pop-up. This is essentially all of the JavaScript logic to control our pop-up HTML. And as I mentioned before, it's just kind of setting the inside of this span current date element to the date, to the UTC date string. And so in order to have this JavaScript effect popup.html, we need to import it. So we'll do add a script tag, source equals popup.js. And now this logic is going to run in here. And that is actually it, guys. See how simple that was? Really, what is that? Like less than 20 lines, and we have our entire Chrome extension done. So now it's time to actually test it out. So if you go to Chrome, then click the three dots at the top, then click settings, and then click extensions, click load unpacked. And just go to wherever your code is. So wherever you made that file, just go and find that. And once you have found that, select the folder and then click select folder. And as you can see right here, we've got the extension that I just made. And you remember I called it data extension with version 1.0.0. And now if we go over here, we should see our date extension here. So I'm going to click it. And of course, there is our pop-up that we made with the padding and the 400 pixels width. And here is the date. So it's in UTC. And if we reload it, if you watch these seconds here, you'll see that it keeps updating each time. And so that's it, guys. Really simple way to just create a Chrome extension, show you the basics, show you how everything's done. And now really the world is your oyster. There's so many things that you can make from this. This just kind of gets your feet wet and get you into the world of making Chrome extensions. So I really hope this video is helpful. I hope this kind of gets you started on your journey to creating more Chrome extensions. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a good one.